Hello, YouTube.
There we go. Well, welcome to Astronomy at the Beach, day 2.
There we go.
This is our 3 p.m.
Welcome
session.
to Astronomy at the Beach, day 2. There we go.
This is our 3 p.m.
Welcome to Astronomy at the Beach, day 2.
Repeating itself.
This is our 3 p.m.
There we go. Don't need to hear the YouTube stream. I can only handle one stream at a time. And this is the 3 p.m. with Awni Hafedh doing H-alpha solar. And you should know today in southeastern Michigan, we've got generally clear skies, but they come in, there's some fair weather clouds that are coming and going. So we'll probably have periods of blackouts, and that's when we get to chat. And when the images come back, they'll look spectacular.
Yeah, hello, everyone.
And introducing Awni. He's a lowbrow and one of our expert astrophotographers.
So for those who didn't join us yesterday, we had a successful solar imaging and session yesterday. And we did capture some videos and some kind of proofs, evidence that of the sun's surface, all the activities that happen there. So hopefully the weather cooperated today, which it's supposed to, I don't know. I mean, oh, there you go.
There it goes.
We got some, but not a lot. So one of the objects that we viewed yesterday are those two not black holes, sunspots. And let me zoom in if I can. Nope. Clouds came in again. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is we captured some of the sun's features or activity yesterday. And one of the things that I captured is a time lapse of those two sunspots. And there you go, that's something. Perfect. There you go. Look at that. That's beautiful. Let's try to focus. Nope, too much. There you go. So this is today, right now, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And believe it or not, yesterday, which was the 24th, at 3 p.m. Where's 3 p.m.? There you go. 3:01. That it's inverted, so sorry about that. But look at that. Look all the activities in that sunspot. It's nothing. It's not even there, except for the sunspot. But all the filaments and the what do you call it? Yeah, the filaments and all the hot regions are not the same. Let me zoom in so I could explain a little bit better.
Filaments. So now he got me thinking about what is the word for that. I remember that, but not apparently too well.
What, the filament?
No, there's another word for the bright spots and whatnot. Oh, I don't know.
Oh, this hotspot.
There we go.
Process. Clip. No, I don't want to clip. Anyway, I probably have an image of that. But what I'm trying to say is this part is actually that part.
Well, yeah,
And
they're
it's not even the
they're
same.
flipped.
They flipped. I could flip it. Just give me a second. See if I have something here. Oh, there you go.
Actually, in the live imaging,
Oh yeah, there you go.
there's a
So
flip
what
X
is
and flip
that?
Y.
Maybe this one. Good. And if we flip edit, edit.
Now, those are stacked, correct?
Correct. That's a stacked image. Oh, there you go. Flip. Okay, maybe. Oh, I'll do it in Photoshop. It's easy.
More clouds.
I know. Open.
Yes, this is Michigan. Can you tell? Highly volatile weather. Excuse me.
So, flip horizontally. I think that's it. Oh, and vertical.
I think the fire capture's got a flip Y turned on
Yeah,
right
I know.
now. That looks like the one of the little hotspot burst that we saw yesterday.
There you go. That looks. That looks. So, you zoom in. Oh, come on. Yeah. Let's see that.
Looks like that smaller third spot is slowly disappearing.
Yeah, true. Look at that. And yeah, this spot was not there. Actually, maybe this spot just moved over here. And it's just not the same, except for this huge loop. It's still, you can still see that huge loop over here. So this was sunspots 2871 and 2876. And the reason I know that is because that same sunspot, those sunspots, they capture the time lapse of it from 1 a.m. I'm sorry, 1 p.m. 12:30 p.m. all the way to almost 5 p.m. before the session starts. And yesterday night, I managed to process all of them and stack them and align them, color them, make sure they're like a little bit sharper. And that thing looked like that. I don't know if you can see me or not.
Yeah, it's coming through. And on YouTube.
So this is played forward and reverse twice. So you see everything repeated. It's repeating itself. But look at that bird. Look at that. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I showed that to my wife this morning, and she was just her jaw dropped, and it's like, wow, that really she put it best. It illustrated how volatile and how live everything is that we're looking at. Even though they may happen slowly when you do the time lapse, it just comes alive and pops out at you.
Yeah, and imagine if I recorded for another hour, there was another burst here over there.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I know that is I went back to, I don't know if it's a NASA website or so, but there's a website that shows the current hydrogen alpha activity of the sun. And when I went and tried to find the burp that I recorded, let me just zoom in a little bit. There we go. Oops. Okay. So here's the burp. It's gonna happen right now. There you go.
Well,
And look
yeah.
at all the activities that happen after that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but the website is gong2nso.edu. Just look for, I guess just look for sun, hydrogen alpha, solar, no, sun now, hydrogen alpha, sun now. And
I'll see if I can't find the site and get it up on the. There we go. I'll put it on the YouTube and
oh, okay, yeah,
in
perfect,
chat sessions.
perfect.
Not that
So
one.
yeah, they got, as far as I know, they got multiple sites. And let me zoom out.
Yeah, they've got many locations.
Yeah,
that
they
you can
got,
choose
for
from.
now, they got like what, 7? And each one record the sun's activity and put it on the public domain. And they also captured like time lapses. And
It's a really great site. I've looked at it numerous times.
yeah, if you're a hydrogen alpha imager or viewer, it's beneficial to see what's going on the sun before you go out and set up and do all the hard work. You can just see, oh, there's something happening worth setting up.
Right, right.
And so
Yeah, the URL I gave
there
is
you go.
basically
See
the
all
entry
the
point.
bursts that happen? That's exactly after my recording. There you go. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. I don't know if the YouTube is fast enough to see that
I think it's picking it up.
while I count, but that's crazy. And we were discussing that yesterday. Those bursts or runaway flares, I would say, sometimes reach us after 2 or 3 days and causes the northern lights or aurora borealis, as far as I know.
Yeah, once the flare or the prominence leaves the sun, it's known as a coronal mass ejection because it's basically squirting plasma out of the star, and those can take anywhere from less than a day to 3-4 days to get here. And
Depends on how fast it is.
yeah, the accelerated speed, all that kind of stuff. What side of the sun are we near or far, etc. But those usually the satellites they've got protective measures when they start seeing advanced levels of those that energy. They'll have a shutdown or a safe mode, and that's why you'll see degraded performance in networks and all kinds of other stuff here on Earth due to that. And when those high energy waves and whatnot hit the atmosphere and hit the magnetic field of the Earth, they usually get twisted around, and that's why you see the northern lights, is you're seeing kind of a display of that ionized and energized hydrogen and oxygen and all the various compounds that are in our atmosphere. Makes for a great light show.
Yeah, for those who watch too many movies, it's more like an EMP.
That's true. That is true.
I mean, if it's strong enough, of course. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
And we have clouds.
Clouds are just covering the. Ooh. I'm a bit worried now because that's a thick cloud. Hold on. We're here.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's like the big stuff cleared out, but what's causing that formation in the middle of the state?
Humidity from the lakes.
Yeah, picking up moisture and heating from the land.
I hope it doesn't rain.
I don't think it's predicted to. Let me check the weather sites. See what we can get in hourly. Yeah, it's all 1%, 2%, 1% chances of rain. So I think it's pretty low that we're going to get any moisture. But it does say it's, partly cloudy, or I don't know if that's, yeah,
Yeah, we're hitting
cloudy.
Yeah, you can see big clouds.
Are they not as broken up? I'm in a basement, so I can't really tell.
No, they're not that broken up.
No.
Wind is picking up, but I don't think it's the rain type of clouds.
Yeah.
But
Just
anyway, so that's technically why I planned for Plan B, which is. So yeah. First thing first, this is what we saw yesterday. So one of the usually if I overexpose my camera, I can see the sun's disk becomes overexposed, but that gives me a chance to see all the prominences that is happening on the sun's edge, which is. Yesterday it was this guy. Yeah, that thing is huge. And I mean huge as in Earth. If you put Earth in that, Earth would be as big as that dot.
Probably about the size of your cursor, basically, right?
Yeah, a little bit bigger from this dot. That's how big this prominence is. And surprisingly, this was pointing towards us because the sun was rotating this way, and that ejection, or it's not ejecting, it wasn't ejected yet, but I presume it did because it's too far, and it was moving towards us. So who knows? Yeah, this is the what do you call it? This is the same sunspot. Sunspots, actually, two of them. I can see two. And correct me, let me just make sure before I announce anything. Oh, I didn't put it. Oh, actually, no, I can't. Hold on. So yeah, there's another website. Was it spaceweatherlive.com, where you can see all the sunspots and the number. Oh, it went down. So yesterday was 2871 and 2876, and I guess it merged, so it became just 2871. It makes no sense because
The other one just went down.
Well, it wasn't. We did see two of them right now, did we?
I thought we saw two regions.
Yeah, I thought I saw two as well. Anyway, so that's how I found the. Oops. Yeah, I see it's still kind of two spots. Anyway,
I'll pass this URL on.
interesting. But yeah, going back to where is it? So, yeah, yesterday were two, and I thought I saw two spots right now. That's what we're discussing.
Yeah.
And yeah, there. This one is a little bit sharpened. Oh, yeah, that's beautiful. And yeah, this was another sunspot. I think it's the oops, this one, 2872. This guy. And with hydrogen alpha, if you see it in hydrogen alpha, it looks like that. I think this is the spot that they were talking about. There you go. See?
That sounds correct.
And there was another activity at the edge. There was no, I didn't see any prominence here, but you can definitely see some filaments. So prominences and filaments are technically the same. It's just a different name. It's technically just a solar activity. When that solar activity are at the edge of the sun, over here, I mean, it's called prominence. When it enters, when the sun rotates, and you can see the shadow of that activity, or of the prominence, I would say. If you can see the shadow of the prominence, then it's called flare. That's technically, that's it.
Filament.
So I would say like a day ago, 24 hours ago, this thing was a prominence. You can see it over here. But 24 hours later, once the sun rotated, now the shadow of that prominence is visible, and that's when it's called flare.
Yeah, we're basically looking down on top of it rather than from the side.
Correct. And that was the same. Oops. Yeah, look at that. This thing only 5 minutes apart in different, time-wise difference. And I want you to see that activity here. That's just 5 minutes. It changed it. The whole thing changed in 5 minutes. And that's one thing that inspires me to capture time lapses, because I mean, it's beautiful to capture the activity, what's happening on the sun, but it's even more beautiful and inspiring, whatever you call it, to capture the whole movement in seconds. Like 2 hour activity, 2 hours activity, 3 hours activity in seconds. And that's basically what I did over here.
Yeah. Well, basically, you're capturing the ballet rather than a snapshot of a particular move.
There you go. I'll post this on my Facebook and Instagram later on. But yeah, let's see if the sun is back. Nope, it's not. So,
I'm
yeah,
just looking at my garage door camera, and it's starting to see some sunlight hitting the driveway, so we may get a clearing soon. I'm slightly west of Awni right now.
I don't see any.
And of course, it fades almost as quickly as it came.
Yeah, there's one of the websites astronomers do or use is called weathercode.edu. We can choose which region to look at, what filters to filter the sky with. And so, for example, this one is called NT Microphysics, and it kind of shows what's happening. So in my case, this is where I live, exactly. And this was a huge storm this morning. It was like raining and muddy, everything. But it did clear up. But now we're having a small patch of clouds that is covering. So maybe Jeff is somewhere here.
Yeah,
And
slightly west.
And he's looking at this.
It's a big hole.
Yes, let's stop this. There, he's probably looking at this hole. But you see there's another cloud coming after it. But yeah, hopefully in less than an hour, this thing is just passed and we can resume. We can see the sun again. But yeah, meanwhile,
So the way it's moving, we're in the heavy part of the clouds right now, and what's trailing is a bunch of small stuff. So
yeah.
and it's moving very fast actually. So
Yeah, we're lucky with that. So yeah, let's see. So till the cloud shows up, I mean, move. Let me show you my setup again. I did show this yesterday, and hopefully, if there are any new viewers today, they'll learn something new. So this is my current setup. I'm using a Lunt 60 TA pressure tuner. And so this the number one, this is my telescope. I'm using a Barlow. So this is more like a optical zoom. It magnifies the image that is coming through the telescope 2.5 times. And the camera that is capturing the activity is the ZW ASI 174 mono. On top of the telescope is a DIY 3D printed device, I would say, or attachment, where I can remote focus and remote pressure tune from inside the house. The pressure tuner is basically, I'll explain later, but once you get to that wavelength, you can shift that wavelength a tiny bit left and right by changing the pressure within the imaging tube. And so this is basically a valve that once you screw it in, you increase the pressure. Once you screw it out, you decrease the pressure. And because of that, this thing is so hard to rotate. So I 3D print this pinion or gear that overcome the torque. And the whole thing sits on a mount. That's an Ioptron CM25P. And everything is connected through a USB hub and a power distribution box. And I'm controlling everything through a 15-meter USB 3 cable. So yeah, long story short, that's basically my setup. It's not cheap, but it's cheaper than buying a new one.
I'm jealous.
Hey, Liam.
Hey, so I'm sorry, Elnate. I'm jealous.
Yeah, you're not missing a lot.
I'm missing hanging out with you.
Yeah, well,
missing a lot, right?
There you go. So wait. Thanks for showing up, because I want to show you yesterday's time lapse.
Oh, I want to see. Yeah, that looks fantastic for the data you gathered. So you see some activity in the center there. Oh, you see, oh, there's an eruption. Nice. Two of them.
we've been calling it a burp. I think it works.
Anything that leaves the surface is a CME, so you can see the different segments of the filament breaking up. There's another one.
No, it's just repeated. I'm just.
Oh, it's in loop. Okay.
No,
So there's at least two of them in there.
Reversing, forward and reverse twice.
Just so there's at least two of them in there.
But yeah, I agree.
One from the region over there on the right, and one from the bottom.
And one is over here.
Yeah.
This is when I stopped the recording before the live session yesterday. This is where when I stopped recording. But when we went back to When we went back to the, yeah, we're getting some clouds here. That's why this
Yeah.
looks amazing. But when I went back to this guy,
Oh, the
see what,
Soho.
see what happened during our session yesterday. Look at
Oh,
that.
there was a big
1,
eruption.
2,
Yeah, I remember that
3.
one there.
That's crazy.
Welcome aboard, Doug.
That like, yeah, I need to spend more time doing solar because I work at home, and it's a weather permitting. I can just set it up outside and let it record. I'd like to learn more about your tuning system though, because I have a PST, so I'd have to adapt it to work on a PST to tune it.
Well, how do you tune the PST?
The PST, the adjuster is actually on the frame of the scope. It's on the scope itself. It's not off to the side like yours is driven.
Okay. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Liam was the person who inspired me to get a solar scope.
No,
Yes.
don't blame me for that.
Astronomy at the beach. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. I paid astronomy at the beach a visit just
Clouds are clear.
before sunset, and Liam had almost the same scope, I think, or no, different scope, the PST actually.
Yeah.
And he was pointing at the sun, and he said this belongs to Ford Club.
No, the PST is mine.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. You told me that if I become a member, we can rent telescopes from Ford Club. Anyway.
Yeah, we have one. Yeah.
And he was pointing that scope at the sun, and I was able to see prominences that I explained earlier. I was able to see all the flares. I think there was a sunspot.
There was.
And I think, yeah, and because it was sunset, the sun was way too close at the horizon. And I think we didn't see an airplane flying across the sun, but we saw the exhaust, all the.
Oh yeah, we saw the trail. Yeah, the exhaust trail.
The airplane trail behind it on the sun. Like all the seeing or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And since then, I was like, this is so cool. I have to get one.
Yeah. So I'm being blamed for this. So if you
guys
buy new
want
equipment,
to thank someone for this session or last year's session, thanks, Liam.
No. But as amateur astronomers, our thing is to instill excitement and enjoyment of astronomy, and that's why we do astronomy at the beach. That's why we do our outreach sessions and stuff. So,
and that's basically what everyone in this club and every club is doing, is to try to inspire people to get into this hobby, because it's not just a hobby.
It's a passion.
I kid you not, everyone. It's spiritual. It's inspiring. It keeps your brain cell active every day. And it's not something you learn and that's it. I learned something and it's stuck with you. No, you learn something every time you set up, every time you image, every time you process something. It's an evolving technology that, blow your minds sometimes.
You know what? I'm going to hire Awni as my PR person.
Well, and here's the dirty little secret. It's like once you get into clubs and you get to know people like Awni, and you even express your even remote interest in something. This guy, I think he lives on cloudy nights or one of the for sale sites, and he finds deals for you. He was after me for about a year to get this equatorial mount. And I finally got one. Turns out I bought his, and when he upgraded, and then recently he fired me up on an ad he found for a great deal on a Lunt solar scope, very much like his, almost identical actually. And guess what? I've started down the H alpha path as well. So Awni's session here, very interesting for me. It's like, oh, I'm taking notes on what he's doing.
I've learned something new. I learned something new about
um,
Awni as well yesterday.
Jeff,
He's also into 3D printing like I am. So we have even more in common.
That's scary. Make your own parts.
Well, I have a lot of printers. I have 20 3D printers.
well,
So I can make a lot of parts.
well, there you go. This is all 3D printed. This is all 3D printed. The holder, you see the holder for the controller? That's 3D printed.
Which is you can't buy anywhere. That's a fantastic holder, by the way.
I know. It's something that Ioptron needs to consider, to be honest.
I actually did the same. I 3D printed the one for Milo's Mandy mount as well. Because there's no for the Gemini 2 hand controller, there is no holder that comes with the scope. So I actually 3D printed one for my scope as well.
I don't know why they don't include them. It's silly.
Well, so yeah, I was discussing something with Jeff just because before you joined, Liam, classified the other sunspot here. Remember there was 28071, 28076.
It was two side by side, yeah.
Yes, but now I'm looking at it.
Maybe they're merging.
Two of them.
They're merging. Maybe collapsed. Maybe it just collapsed.
Interesting.
They do come and go, you know. So it probably collapsed because it's maintained by the magnetic fields, the knots in the magnetic field on the coming through the surface of the sun that creates these, as far as we know. And I say that because we don't really know all the signs of the sun. We know some of them.
We got a sucker hole in the cloud. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So if that magnetic field collapses, then the hole will disappear. It'll close up.
Yeah, I wanted to show what's happening, but I guess yeah.
Well, Awni, if you like this, later on, I'm going to demonstrate fire dancing to music. I think you'll like that one too. I'll get you into physics. John has seen this, haven't you, John?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's impressive to watch you happen. So if anything will get you involved in physics, this will do it.
Especially with good rock and roll.
So there's some good music makes a big difference. It does. So we'll get you into studying physics next, Awni.
That would be nice.
Yeah, learning about standing waves and stuff like this. It's a fun thing to see. I did it once at Astronomy at the Beach a couple of years ago, and people really enjoyed it. So I'm going to actually do it from my garage to them this evening.
That would be nice.
You know what?
I'd
really be impressed, Liam, if you got it to do it to light waves.
We know flame is light waves because it emits light, photons.
I know, but I mean to make it dance to light waves, because you got it dancing to music.
Yeah, but see, dancing to music is easier because you're creating a standing wave in the gas. You can't do that with light unless you use really high-end powered lasers to superheat the gas in areas. It's not the same thing though.
I don't know. I'm thinking that you might be able to do it with like an oscilloscope in an amplifier and change the waveform into sound.
Maybe at the right frequency. Yeah, it might be possible.
Yeah.
Still cloudy.
Yeah, it's cloudy, but
It's
I'm
supposed to
trying
break
to
up though,
show.
'cause they say this evening is supposed to be nice.
Yeah, I got broken clouds out here on the west.
So that's
No,
heading
this
your way.
is-
You're in the Farmington area, Awni, aren't you?
This is where I live. Yeah, the Farmington area.
Yeah,
This is basically what I have is. Oh, hold on. Let me just stop that.
Yeah, we're the smallish pebbly stuff is following these larger.
Yeah, you see, I still got this much of clouds to pass me. So until we get some clear sky. But anyway, that's basically what I had plan B, and hopefully that's so. Yeah, one of the things that inspires me about solar is the time lapse, and I already mentioned that. Keep repeating myself. But
here's a question for you. Typically, what time frame between shots do you do? I mean, is it one every 30 seconds, one every minute, every 5 minutes?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Okay.
Yeah, the like this movie, this time lapse is just a snapshot every 30 seconds.
Yeah, but you
And
also
what I
remember
mean-
you only keep about 20% of the image of what you gather, right?
Yeah. So snapshot, when I mean snapshot, means a movie. So I capture a movie every 30 seconds, and that movie contain, a minimum of 2,000 frames or pictures, and then there's a software that I run all these movies through, and the software picks the best 10 or 20 or 30%. I can go through the processing of one image, and I'll show you what I mean. But the reason we capture a movie is even though we capture 2,000 frames, I would say 20, 25%, 30% of those 2,000 frames have some good quality images. The rest are just either blurred or not focused, or whatever, caused by sync, transparency, bad weather, thin clouds, whatever you call it. And so yeah, a snapshot is technically a movie, and I do that every 30 seconds. And until I run out of space or run out of clouds. So, later on, I just stack each video into an image, and then align those images together, and then put them together. Once they're aligned and sharpened and colored and blah, 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 just put them together in a 20 frame per second movie. And that's technically how it looks like here. This is one of my early attempts. I don't want to run an SCR because sometimes it's, oh, there you go. This is not an SCR. I see. So this is the same thing. It's a snapshot every 30 seconds. And then once you align it and sharpen it, you put it together and it creates a time lapse. That's basically a 2-hour capture. Run in, where you run it in a few seconds. This is another, actually, that's the whole sunspot, sun surface back in August 2020. And there was a sunspot here, and I mean, cool. Yeah, this one was one of my best time lapses, and again, same technique, same process that I use, and once I put it together, that's when the beauty comes up. That's when the 2-hour beauty comes up. When you run it fast, it's just it becomes way much better. And that is another one. I think that's a burst. Oh, look at that. Yeah, you see some kind of lightning here that happens. But anyway, I'm showing this to hopefully inspire other people and make them get inside this hobby. Yeah, this was, I guess, one of my best time lapses. This sunspot was so huge. I was able to get a lot of details out of it. And that was actually one of my earliest time lapses.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that was
Stunning, stunning.
Yeah.
And I don't know if someone asked this question or no, but the reason the what do you call it, the sun disk is black, that's technically a post-processing technique that I do to make sure to make sure that the prominence is more visible, especially the faint part of the prominence is visible, because otherwise the whiteness of the sun disk will kind of what's the word?
It'll blow it out. It will overtake the faint light.
Overcast all the faint details, I guess. Yeah, you can see what I mean in here. Yeah, this is so the overexposed disk, you know, you can barely see all the activity here. You know, there's something coming out and over here. You can't see it because it's overcasting your eyes. But this was not processed. This was just quickly put together just to see something which was the heart shape. Let me pause it. There you go. Oops. Yeah, I just want to know if I actually captured the heart shape, because you know, I wasn't sure. So yeah, it did. So I'll definitely process this and put it together in a sharper, better movie.
Doug Bach is online with Zoom and still having technical issues, but he says they're all very nice.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we still don't have anything.
You have a question
It is breaking
for
up, though. John said it's breaking up by him. That means it's coming this way, because John is further west of me, and I'm west of you, Awni.
Yeah, I haven't checked mine in Ipsy. I do have a small question for Liam.
Okay.
And actually in Ypsilanti, we're starting to see some sun on the driveway, so it is starting to clear up. If I'm looking at a sunspot, you know, you have the dark region, and this you can see it whether it's white light or the H alpha. You have the black region in the center of the sunspot, and then there's usually a fairly uniform region just outside of it that is obviously hotter, but it's not as hot as than the area that's outside of that uniform area is seemingly much more turbulent and whatnot.
There you go.
And you can see it in this picture where it's like it's a darker orange or whatever, but it's not that black color. Is that
it's
like
just transition in temperature?
It's I guess it is like a physical contour. Is it more like a funnel that goes down, or don't we really know?
It's not really a hole in the sun. It's a cooler area created by a knot in the magnetism. So all it is that, well, as far as we know, as far as I know, all it is a transition from the cooler area where the main core, the knot is in the magnetism, to the outer area, and then it transitions from dark. If you really look at that, it's a really dark orange or darker color, but it's not actually black.
Correct.
And the white light filter shows up as a black spot because it doesn't filter down. But if you really filter down, it's actually a lighter color, but it's actually it's just a temperature variation, and it changes as you go away from the sunspot.
Because it just looks like, because of the, I guess the very discrete boundary of that that uniform region.
You must remember, energy is like plasma is streaming into and out of these areas, so it's carrying the temperature variations with it.
Okay, so it's basically it's still temperature variation. It's just the transition period between.
There's no real. I don't believe there's much of a real physical, other than the lumps being created by the magnetism around it, the magnetic field, the knots pulling the material around. I don't think there's any there's no physical hole that we are aware of. It's just because of the magnetic field, it's creating this cooler spot is all it is.
That's a question I get from people who are like, well, why is that? It looks like one of those old smallpox shots.
Or it also kind of looks like an impact location, impact crater.
Right.
Yeah,
but there's no physical aspect to it, really.
You can almost think of it as a negative image.
Yeah.
That's another thing in the black or in the white light, you get the black spot in the middle, but you also get that ring. So you can see the full indentation or
Right.
what looks like an indentation on the sun.
Well, up until about 2 weeks ago, that's all I'd ever really seen in the solar stuff was the white light. And there's plenty of structure there that you can see, but it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't pop out like it does in H alpha.
Liam, that's one of my time lapses that I captured as well.
That's the CME happening. Yeah.
Look at that. That's the
Guys,
sun.
we just got a message from
sneezing.
we just got a message from Doug Bach. Can somebody let him in the meeting? He's not able to get his
that would
audio and
have to
video.
be Jeff.
Um,
He could be in
Yeah,
the waiting room.
oh, he's in the meeting. There is no waiting room on this one.
Oh, so he's already in. He just,
But he's audio and video. He can't open. Are you hearing everything, Doug? Because he's chatting with us. Okay, he's hearing everything. His microphone and video camera aren't filtering
Yeah,
through.
hit the arrow buttons and that should bring up a menu and then you can test.
So yeah,
Little
we
debugging
had
here.
some clear weather. So I'll put this aside, and like so. Hopefully it's visible. But I'm not going to go through all this presentation because that was a different one, but it will give you enough information of what solar imaging is all about. And so yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested to know anything or comment or help or any, this is my Facebook, this is my Instagram, feel free to contact me. And the reason for this presentation was to discuss what kind of equipment that you guys can use for imaging the sun, whether it's just white light or solar, hydrogen alpha imaging, how to plan your session, and a little bit of image processing, which again, if the sun is shy today, I can go through the image processing part as well. The nice thing with solar imaging versus like deep sky imaging or night imaging is you don't need to go to a dark spot. You don't need to drive to a darker spot and escape the light pollution that is required for night imaging. You can't do it from backyard because the sun is too bright. The sun is available every day as long as it's not cloudy. It's not like imaging the moon or planets or anything. What you see now, you won't see it after an hour. It's going to change. And we saw that today. The images from yesterday was totally different than today. The filament is different. Even the sunspots merged. How crazy is
Yesterday, I think we counted, what was it, 8 or 9 different sunspots?
I know.
And today there's 2.
And now we only count 2. Yes, yeah. I mean, I have an image that proves that. Sun yesterday, and one of the there. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And they were labeled as different distinct sunspots too.
Yeah, they were, I guess they were like this one and that one. I don't know. But briefly, if you go back to the live stream, you'll see it. Briefly, the sun was visible today, and I was able to count just 2. So that's what I mean. What you see now, you won't see it again, probably ever. So that's the beauty about the sun.
Sometimes you get a sunspot or whatever that could last days, even up to a week or more. But they're rare.
Yeah, true.
Only during the height of activity. Like
true, but the activity around it, it's not going to be the same anymore.
Yeah, it does change an awful lot. Like I've seen a filament spend 6 days on the sun, right? And go around the other side, right? Disappear off the face. And then I've seen filaments last 20 minutes and they come up, they form, and they fall apart again.
So again, it's not like imaging a deep sky object or the moon, which is exactly the same every year or every day. And not to mention, you can sleep. You don't have to wake all night and image deep sky objects.
Yeah.
You can actually, have some, except if it's during the day and you have to work, then kind of tricky.
So that's why Awni got into solar observing. He can't blame me. He got into it because he enjoys his sleep too much.
No, not really. I still do deep sky objects. A lot of them.
Here's something we should talk about and maybe possibly debate. But now, when we say sunspots are numbered or named, is that actually a true statement, or is it the active region that we're naming?
They named the number sunspots.
The number sunspot, I would say.
Yeah.
I that's why I'm saying I would debate that, because they're called active regions.
No, it's actually the sunspot himself, because if you see here, you see the sunspot 2872 here in the image.
There you go.
Yeah,
it's the spot. It's the hot
the
spot.
spot itself is what they number, don't, because the sun is always active. So we'd be in numbers into the millions and billions if they name.
Okay,
if they
now you're saying that Google active region sunspots. Just Google it and see what you come up with.
But you have the sunspot word in there. But but I'm almost sure that it's only the spot itself they number, because they're visible. Because the sun, there's always active regions in the sun. Otherwise, when we'd all freeze to death, we'd all die. So the sun keeps us warm, right? So it's always active. So
okay, would you try and Google that and see if that changes your mind?
sure.
What is it?
Active region. Are sunspots numbered, or is it the active region?
Okay, individual sunspots are not, but groups of them are, is what it's saying here.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They're active regions. They're not the actual sunspot.
Yeah, but it's an active region because of a group of sunspots. If it was just activity and there was no sunspot there, it'd never get a number.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. So we're numbering the active region, not the actual sunspot.
Yeah, it's by group. It's by a group of sunspots. Yes, you are correct in that. Yeah. Yeah, we don't do individuals. It's
Well, is it true?
Who
Is it true
names
that you
those?
don't get? Is it true that you don't get CME? You only get CME if there is a sunspot there.
no,
No.
not necessarily. No, CME can come from any very active area on the sun.
I've seen very active regions without a sunspot before.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
So you don't need a sunspot, but they're often are the cause of filaments or prominences. But they're not the only reason why they happen. They can happen on areas of the sun where there are no sunspots.
To answer your question, Bob, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration numbers the active regions consecutively as they are observed on the sun.
Yeah.
What
You got a website you could link there?
Yeah. I just actually Google was saying this, but they do have a website. Yep, here we go. I'm passing this on. And
Thank you very much.
Chat.
let me explain this one here too. If you think of this as a prominence, so usually it's in a horseshoe type shape where you have a positive side and a negative side coming out of the sun. And then when the prominence, it will twist, and then that causes the short, and then the top part will blow off, and that's what causes your CMEs generally.
That's one of the reasons. Yeah. Yeah. That's a very common reason. The other is there's so much energy and so much plasma gets pulled into it that instead of getting twisted, it gets pulled and stretched so much that it actually snaps and breaks. and that's another reason for CME. So it actually, when it snaps, it's like rubber band. Imagine a ball of rubber bands. You keep adding rubber band and rubber band over it, and it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Eventually, you're going to put on a rubber band, and it's going to get so tight it's going to snap, right? But when that ball of rubber band snaps, the material in that arc of magnetism, the plasma that's in there, that gets thrown out into space. That's also how CMEs happen. So the rubber band is a but with the shorting, it does happen. But the rubber band is the other. The rubber band description is the other way, where it gets too tight, like it gets too knotted up, that the magnetic field loop breaks and snaps.
Here's another little trivia bit from the naming thread. The AR in the solar, the sunspot or active region designation stands for active region.
Yeah.
And on June 14th, 2002, active region number 10,000 was reached. And they said for practical and computational regions, active region numbers continue to have only 4 digits. So if you get over 10,000, 10,000 is implied, and they go back to like 10,030 would be numbered AR0030. Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the reset.
Yeah, the
kind of like a GPS rollover.
Yeah. The text is in that website link that's in the chat and in the YouTube stream.
Another good website for solar information is called SOHO. That's the solar heliophysics and observatory or something.
Yeah,
or,
I posted a link to one of the animated GIFs of the solar wind streaming out for the last like 48 hours yesterday. I go find that. It's really cool.
Then there's another one on YouTube. It's a solar activity that's put with music, and that one's pretty good. It's a relaxation video, I guess. And I guess there's one about 30 minutes long.
One of my favorites is the Solar Dynamics Observatory.
Yeah, the SDO, yeah.
Oh, here's a question for you guys. Let me pick some of your brains from the people that have been.
Well, that won't take long.
To Astronomy Forever, or Astronomy at the Beach, back in about 2000, we had a guy talking about heliophysics. Oh, now I can't think of his name, but he's a big shot with NASA now. Is it Tom? It's kind of
Tomasz Gambusi?
No, but he's got a heavy accent, European accent.
Would it? Gambosi is perhaps his last name.
No.
Okay.
Maybe his first name is Liam.
No, the guy that I'm talking about, you can understand his heavy accent.
Yeah. Well, I worked for.
Sorry, John. What did you say?
I'm Irish and I can't even understand them.
You're just wannabe Irish. It's okay. We'll still accept you.
I worked for a group my last job was at a group called the Center for Space Environment Modeling, and it was headed up by Tomasz Gambosi, who's Hungarian. He is a immigrant from the Soviet Union, actually, when they were when Hungary was associated with them. And his team at U of M is basically half Hungarian, so some of the staff meetings were nearly unintelligible. The accents were so thick, but Tomasz is a world-renowned expert on the solar wind and space weather in general, coming from the CMEs and whatnot. So that's why I was like, is it Tomasz? Because he goes by Thomas or Tom or something like that if he's in American circles, but his real name is Tomasz. That weird Hungarian S,
Yeah, it's
what's the guy that we had? We had Noor Rufi in our club a few weeks, about 2 years ago. Noor is as part of the Parker Solar Probe mission. He's the lead scientist for Parker Solar Probe. And he actually did a presentation to our club about 2 years ago, before the launch of Parker, or no, just after the launch of Parker, after did the first orbit of the sun. He actually came on and did a presentation to us about this, about the science they had gathered and so on.
Yeah, I seen him down at Goddard when I went down there for a press meeting. Yeah, they had him, Nikki Fox, and a few others, but that was right before they brought it out of the clean room and put it in the Guppy to ship down to Florida.
Yeah,
it's Thomas Kerboken, I think is his name.
Kerboken. He's German. He's now he's the head of the
heliophysics
sciences for NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was at Astronomy at the Beach, like I say, the guest speaker back around 2000, I believe it was.
It was before, maybe. Yeah, Thomas Kerboken, he heads up the science missions for NASA.
I think the Lowbrows had him, if I'm not mistaken. I can look back, but I think we had him speak to us like in the last couple of months.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, he's a really nice guy. He does have he's a very strong. He's either German or Austrian. I think he is. He's from that region. But he's got a strong accent. But he's really good. He knows his stuff. That's why they like. And then the other guy we had presenting to us is was his name Brian? Is it Brian Green or
Jim Green? Jim Green.
Jim Green. Okay. He presented to us as well a few times at our talk, remotely. He's now the head of something missions or something, or some other science group.
Oh, is he head of planetary science? Or?
I think maybe it's planetary science is his area. Yeah, but he's now the head of one of those groups.
Yeah, his claim to fame is any mission that went to another planet. He got that satellite or rocket to that planet or asteroid.
Awni I'm looking up in my email, and Thomas Kerboken did actually. He was our speaker. I can't trying to find the YouTube video.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, I'm trying to find our. Let's see, switch account. When I find the YouTube video, I'll post it on there. He gave a talk to us, and it's on public YouTube, so you should be able to get to it. Of course, I'm not able to find it myself very easily. There we go. It was July 16th meeting.
How they're going to do it. So I'm playing.
And where's the little share thing? Copy, boom. Here we go. That is Thomas Kerboken's talk. Here we go. And what was the talk about? Hey, Jeff. It was Together We Explore. Sounds very general.
Yeah, he's
basically that might have been. I was going to say maybe that was about not the Parker Solar Probe, but the other one that just went up.
He is currently the NASA Associate Administrator of Science.
Yeah, because we just had that one launch, the Solar Orbiter, and that was a combination of NASA and the European Space Agency.
Yeah.
So that probably ties into his title together.
Yep.
And he covers all of the stuff. He also covers the stuff like the Mars missions and so on, the Mars and investigation missions.
Yeah.
They're all under his purview. Oh, somebody posted a link to this Kerboken talk.
Yeah, that was me.
Oh, okay. You should post it on YouTube as well.
Yep.
Somebody has a
that's
name.
where I'm at right now.
So
there we go. Yeah, the Lowbrows have basically got a speaker every month, and our schedule is actually full through Well, through 21, and we've got 22, I think all but 4 months are covered right now. So we have a good guy that's found us great speakers, both at the university, at NASA,
I've got to schedule
wherever.
this talk with you guys.
We have we're very similar.
We're
Sandra Masik has done a great job with our club for our speakers. Last week, or sorry, this week, Thursday, we had a great speaker talking about the missions to asteroids, and it's really good. He's involved in these. What was his name? Jeff, or what was his name?
Yeah, it was Jeff, but I don't remember his last name.
Let me find it. I have it here in my email somewhere. Jeffrey Whitehead.
Whitehead,
right.
Yeah.
And he gave a great presentation. He was really personable. He answered all sorts of questions. He's super technical, so he'll go as deep as you want into the topics, which some of us really relish in. So and it was really, really good talk. Yes, Bob's waving. He's one of those too. So like it was really, really good. Oh, that's the solar eclipse. I have images like that.
Yeah, this is one of the images
I don't have
that
animations like that. I have images.
I didn't animate mine. I never animated mine, but I have all of the image. No, well, I got 100%. I got totality.
Yeah, that was back in, I think it was what, 2018?
2017.
17?
Yeah.
Um,
I recognize the order, that the layout.
yeah,
of the sunspots.
luckily we didn't have, that day wasn't cloudy.
Yeah,
So,
I recognize the layout of sunspots. That was my third eclipse. The next one in 2024 will be my fourth eclipse. And there's an annular in 2023 coming up.
And yeah, surprisingly, that when that eclipse was another reason to get the solar scope, because I didn't have the solar scope back then. What I had is this. So I had the previous mount, which a friend of mine have it right now, and I just have a normal camera that can record a video, with a zoom lens, and I purchased a solar filter that I can screw it in front of the lens, and this DIY shade, just so because to prevent the camera from warming up.
Yeah.
You didn't buy that for $100?
So
I mean, that shade looks pretty expensive.
It does.
Let me show from my solar from the 2024. It's on my desktop, so I'm going to share my desktop if you allow me.
So the session was similar to that. See, it was like a huge TV, and I was just recording either a picture or a movie every second or so.
Yeah.
And then when I aligned everything, it was kind of tough to align because there's no edge. Once the sun is covered, there was no edge. So it was kind of, you see the sun like wobbling left and right. But once I put it together, yeah, and we got some clouds here and there, but you can definitely see the moon just covering the whole sun, partial eclipse. So that was fun.
Yeah.
You have to go and see the next full solar eclipse. Like the way I describe it is,
You want to share
between a partial solar eclipse and a full solar eclipse? A full solar eclipse is like, a partial solar eclipse is like not being able to get a ticket to a concert and being set up being about 8 blocks away and barely hearing it in the background. And then seeing the full eclipse is like being at the concert in front row and actually being invited up on stage.
Well, I'm almost ready. I got the solar scope and I got a full frame camera, 6D, with a zoom lens and the filter. I'm just ready. So when? 3 years from now? We'll see if I'm still alive.
Yep, 2024. Another thing that you got to do is
Okay.
go to Fred Espinak's website,
Yes.
and Liam used a script for taking his images, and it really worked out well.
Did you
You
have
there, Liam?
something to share, Liam?
Liam dropped
So-
out.
No, he's in the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, then he's probably looking for his images then. Yeah, that's, we went to the Astronomical League convention in Wyoming for that eclipse. And
Yeah.
that really turned it into an event as opposed to just, you know, a 2 or 4 hour eclipse. So we had events all week long leading up to the eclipse. And one of the events was really spectacular. They had the Wyoming Symphony Orchestra outside under the stars doing scores from space movies.
Cool.
So, and then they had this one violinist. I don't know what his name was. I can't think of it off the top of my head now. But he played an electric violin. And so he would go between classical and then jump into hard rock and blend the songs together. And it was just fantastic. And then for his encore, he came out with a lightsaber for his, what do they call it, a bow or something? Or, you know,
Yeah.
the thing that,
Yeah, that's the
that they,
bow.
yeah, so he came out with a lightsaber bow and all the lights were off and all you seen was this LED lightsaber. So he was
Yeah,
really
I'm
going
actually going to
wild
build.
on it.
I'm going to build one of those. A lightsaber with sound, so as you move it, you hear the sound as like a lightsaber.
For what it's worth, I've been watching the satellite updates, and the thick
Clearing.
stuff is clearing Jackson now, so it is moving east to Jackson.
There's actually clear. There's sun is shining where I live right now. I can see it out my window.
I can see the spot you're looking at, Liam.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you're set up outdoors, so because I have everything ready to do my demo of the tube later on of the flames, the dancing music, the flames dancing to music.
Ah,
I don't know if Mike is going to be attending, so if he doesn't, I'll take his spot with that.
Did you hear what happened to Mike last night?
No, I haven't spoken to him. I've been busy all day. I haven't reached out to him yet.
Oh, we got a habit of members of our club getting stuck in Walmart shopping and not making our
That's
meetings and
one
stuff.
member of our club that gets stuck in Walmart. One specific person.
That was for our banquet.
Yeah, that was a funny night. Yeah, we called the person and he said, "Well, where are you? You're supposed to be here at the banquet." And he said,
mhm.
"Is that tonight? I'm in Walmart shopping." It was funny.
Yeah, here's a trick with that I learned from a friend with time lapses. Usually with equatorial mount, it flips. You know, once it hits the meridian, it flips to the other side.
Mhm.
Now, if you're catching time lapse, you don't want that mount to flip. So in my case, what I did is that I slew the mount all the way to the edge of the other side of the, you know, it's like, let me explain it, you know, it will get clear. And then start imaging the sun over here with it, like in this direction. So once the mount starts slowing, it will kind of pass the meridian and continue towards the other direction without flipping, because it's already flipped. But I slewed it east all the way to the end. I'm almost hitting the pier. So that's a trick if you're planning to do time lapses, even with moon or Jupiter, planets, anything. You don't want the mount to flip on you while taking images. So, you know, just a small trick.
Yeah, take it past. Yeah.
You know,
I thought
that mount looks very familiar, Awni.
Is it?
Oh, no. Okay. Well, the one in your previous picture did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I often make nice mounts.
I've been very pleased with both of them that I own. So
Yeah, I have a really small ioptron gem. You can actually run it off batteries. This unit, you can actually put batteries in it and run it completely off batteries.
You talked about the smart EQ.
Yeah, and I use it for my PST.
Yep. Smart. So I imaged with smart EQ for a very long time. I still have it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful.
They're nice.
mount.
They're a lovely little mount. Nice, lightweight, easy to move.
Yep.
well, my other mount is their AZ Mount Pro. Because I don't have a good view in north, I figured I'd get the AZ and do the best I can. And right now it's on loan to Brian Autumn, and he's got an
You guys
astrograph.
you can't imagine how many times I begged him to switch to EQ. He was
Yeah, I
getting
know. I'm eating my words
he
now.
was getting some beautiful images out of what, 30 second, less than 30 second.
Yeah, 30
image?
second was about it for that.
And
mount.
he was trying so hard. Every time I asked him, he was like, no, I want to get the best of the best from this mount before I decide to switch. I'm like, dude, you're just wasting your time. Get an EQ mount. It will change your life.
It did.
Well, when I went to a gem, I went to Los Mandy. So because I have multiple scopes to go on it, so that's why I went that direction.
Yeah, I've got 3 different scopes that I'll put on either mount for that matter. The AZ has got a problem because it spins in 360-degree directions off of the one axis, and you have some balance and some tripod issues if you have
It's an alt-az, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
And I was going to say,
Yeah.
Brian Autumn is using it right now with a fast
only-
astrograph for
The
out-
only reason I would consider an alt-az is if first, if I have a wedge. Second, if I'm doing planetary and I need ADC, which is I don't know what it stands for, to image, to focus and sharpen the image out of the camera. That's the only reason I would consider alt-az. Otherwise, EQ is the way to go.
Yes.
Well,
Brian-
it varies.
Brian
for
likes it
visual-
because it's good for outreach.
For
He can go
visual,
to
all
and
that
go.
is great. Yeah, for any visual stuff, you don't worry about the rotation. So, and it's easy to set up. You stand it in place, you pick 2 stars, and you're done. Right? Whereas
Well,
an
that too.
equatorial, you have to do your polar alignment. You have a lot more work involved to get it set up. So, for people who want to do visual or very short exposure images, like in 20 seconds or less,
Right.
you can do that with an alt-az. If you want to
that's
go
what-
longer than 20 or 30 seconds, then you're looking at an equatorial because you without it you'll get rotation,
Well,
and you have the mount moves in two directions to track the image, whereas in a which you can fix with somewhat with software after the fact, but on an equatorial, that there's no rotation involved in your image. It's always the same position and you only track with one motion, so there's less chance of something going wrong.
Right. O'Brien's got his fast astrograph. He's only taking like 30-second max images, and they're very noise free. They're virtually noise free, and it's probably about as good photo quality as what he's getting on his New Mexico plane wave.
Yeah, well, he's doing short images with the astrograph.
Yeah.
What is an F2, F3? So he's
Yeah,
doing really
F2.
short images.
It's very fast.
Yeah.
But for his outreach of things, he gets 30 seconds, and he's off and running, and it's good enough for showing people around the sky of DSOs and other stuff. So he's had good success with it, and I think he's going to make a decision at some point. I may actually sell it to him. I don't know.
I got ETX LS 85, I think it's called, from Tim Campbell. And that one, it's either or. You can
Right.
Yeah, you can put it in equatorial or you can put it in AZ.
Yeah, but didn't he have a lot of problems with the gearing system in those because they were plastic?
Yeah, that's what happened. He had the plastic gear go bad, and he contacted a company and had one made for it. And so he couldn't get the gear out, so I ended up being able to do that. And
Yeah.
so it is working again.
Well,
I
my
want-
first mount was a Celestron Nexstar, and they have I think it's the declination motor that tends to go bad over time, and they're virtually not serious, not fixable, not repairable. So
Speaking of equipment, if whoever is planning to do solar hydrogen alpha imaging or viewing, you don't have to get the same mount that I have, which is the Lunt pressure tune. They make the pressure tune version, they make the tilt version, but I think that's what Liam has. The
I have
PST.
one of those. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a tilt version.
The PST works exactly the same. I mean, you can technically put a camera here and do imaging as well, and it works really good for viewing. The other thing that you can do if you already have a telescope, in one condition, it has to be 5" and below the diameter of the scope. Anything bigger, you might burn this thing. Is if you have a refractor 5" and below, you don't need to get a telescope. All you have to do, you can get an eyepiece. And what this eyepiece does is it works like a solar scope. It filters all the broadband, the spectrum. It only passes the angstrom, the wavelength, that specific wavelength that is required to see all the sun spots and the filaments and the prominences. It only requires, again, a telescope if you have one, and a power supply. I think it's a 12 or 5-volt power supply, and it works like a charm. And
the wavelength is 656 nanometers, is what it
Correct.
allows in. That's the
So
wavelength.
I guess it's even better than the Lunt, but it all depends on your budget, whatever fits your budget. The reason I went with the Lunt is I don't have a refractor, and I just found a good deal on Cloud Unites for that refractor that I have, so I just went for it.
You don't have to buy new. There's lots of good.
And you don't have to buy
there.
new.
Most
Again,
astronomers take care of their equipment.
That's exactly what I said yesterday.
Yeah.
There has been some problems with the PSTs. I think early models, they were getting rust on the inside. And so you have to do your homework on those.
Yeah, true.
It's a well-known problem. So yeah.
I had to send my PST in for servicing. I have a PST 40, and I'd like to know what's a good eyepiece camera that goes with that.
The problem about putting cameras on PSTs is the focal distance. The focal point is really short. So if you want to put a camera on it, you often have to use a Barlow to Barlow it out to extend your focal distance. Now, the other option is if you have a camera that can drop right down inside the eyepiece holder, get right down against where the aperture opens on the inside of the eyepiece holder, then you can get into focal range, because the focal distance from that point back is tiny. So you need to either get all the way in and bring your chip right up against that aperture, or Barlow it and pull it back. And then that way, you're basically taking the image from down there and you're refocusing it up again to another point, and that's where you can put your camera out here to get a camera on it. But you have to do one or the other.
Yeah, I always had to hold my camera up and that kind of stuff. I never thought of using a Barlow with it, though.
No, well, the other option is to do eyepiece projection. You can actually get an eyepiece projection unit that actually fits on the PSC, and then you drop an eyepiece into that. The eyepiece goes into the normal eyepiece holder, and you lock it in. But this sits around the eyepiece, and then you put your camera on top of the eyepiece projection unit, which can move in and out to get your focus point. And you lock it in, and basically what's happening is the eyepiece image is actually being projected into your camera lens. or up to your CCD chip, not your camera lens, your chip. So there are a few ways of doing it, but it's a lot of there's a lot of tweaking and playing around to get the right settings. It can be done. It's just not very easy. They're not
Well,
designed.
yeah, the PST, the problem I've had with public outreach with it is that, you know, it's got such a narrow field of view. I've actually had some people just not get their eyeball at the right spot.
Change your eyepiece to a different eyepiece with less glass. The less glass you have in your eyepiece, the wider the area you have to look in. Because the more glass you have in it, narrows the focus, the beam down really narrow into your eye. But if you do some of the eyepieces, the more you'll find eyepieces with expensive glass often give a narrower field of view, like for a narrow area that you can look in. Whereas if you use cheap eyepieces, like a cheap Colossal, you often get a wider field of view. It's easier for the eye to find the image. That's what I find anyway.
Try that, but I'm not sure how much I want to, you know, even invest in this, because I do want to get a nice like Lunt 60 or 80 or something like that.
And I'm happy with my PST. I don't do imaging with it. I do a lot of visual, and I really like it, and it's fun for outreach. But I do have a camera, a monochrome camera. I don't have a color, but I have a monochrome camera. I can drop right down in, right up against that aperture inside the eyepiece holder. It's the camera is like a guide camera. It's the diameter is the same diameter as an eyepiece sleeve, so it drops right down in there, and I can use that if I wanted to.
The Ford Club, we have a double stack PST.
Yeah,
and
we have the double
all the
stack.
members can borrow that. Let me see if I can share my screen for a minute. I'll show you guys a little bit of that Parker Solar Probe media day, if you guys want to see that.
I think Awni's got to let go. There you go. Go ahead, John.
Let me see if I can get it. Okay.
With the headphones on, John, I was expecting you to be calling play for play on a sports game.
Oh,
Isn't that
Are
what
you
we've been
guys-
doing?
are you guys getting sound? I don't hear
Nope.
sound.
We don't even see video.
Oh, you're not.
No.
I see it playing on mine. Now, why isn't it playing on yours?
Because you didn't share it. You're on the wrong screen. Are you on two screens?
No, but
You can share individual windows, applications, screens.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Okay.
flexible.
I got the sun on my screen right now. Okay, let's why
Oh, lucky you. You got sun.
let me
Dull down a
shrink
bit
this.
here already, but it'll probably come
Your
back.
screen sharing is past.
Oh, Jeff, you need to give permission to share screen.
He's sharing it right now.
He's not. He,
Okay,
turned the
I
wrong one.
just stopped.
Are
it.
you
Let
sure?
me-
Are you sure you're sharing your screen or sharing an app on your
Yeah.
screen?
He's
Oh,
he's
it's-
able to share the screen. You just got to share the correct app or screen or window or whatever.
There you go. No video, no audio. Did you select the option to play audio?
Yeah, he's got to turn the audio on. It's muted right now. The video is
Yeah, down below, John, bottom left.
lower left-hand corner.
Hit the speaker button.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying here.
It is newer roof there on the right hand side, in the white shirt.
There you go.
It's not unmuting.
You didn't click it.
You know what? It might be because of my
Oh,
headphones that I'm using.
It's playing through your head. Yeah, maybe.
it's turned on right now. So play the video.
Yeah, we hear nothing.
No, I don't either. Well, I'll let it go on a little bit. She's just basically talking about it. I'll bump it up to a couple good spots.
There's coming through.
Well, that's not John's or that's somebody else's audio.
Oh,
I want to get to the part where I'm showing it in the clean room.
You have to behave now, John. The Oakland County
There it
Sheriff's
is. Okay, let me run it through here. And so, yeah, she's showing it, pointing to it in the back. That's what the Parker Solar Probe looked like when it was all unmasked.
how many orbits has it done now? What, 5 or 6, I believe?
I don't know exactly how many. These were just all the media that was there for it. Why can't I get sound?
I wonder if the headphones are confusing Zoom. Because
I
Zoom,
think that-
you can select which audio source.
Mm-hmm.
Let me,
If you look in the little tip-up menu on the very left side of your window,
yep,
you can choose which is the speaker.
same as system. Oh, that's select a microphone or a speaker.
I would think the speaker, since it was send it out that way, but that's a possibility. Given Doug Bach's problem with Zoom, I really can't say.
So Parker has completed 4 orbits, and it's about to head in to do it. It's
No,
doing a
still-
Venus flyby next month, and then it will. Oh, sorry, forgive me. It's reached perihelion 9 times already, and it's heading for its 10th in November, and next month it's going to do another Venus flyby to have Venus slow it down, as a reverse slingshot to slow itself down to get closer to the sun with each pass. So that's what it uses. It uses it orbits Venus backwards to slow itself down with each before it goes around the sun again. You understand how the slingshot system works? Anybody?
I can actually demonstrate that in Kerbal Space Program.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So if you approach a planet, and the planet rotates, let's say counterclockwise, and you approach and you slingshot into the same direction it's rotating, it actually accelerates the spacecraft out in its trip, because you steal some of the energy from the orbit of the rotation of the planet, right? Now, if you approach the planet that's rotating again counterclockwise, and you come in on the opposite side, so you approach it in a way where it's against its rotation, you actually give some of the spacecraft's energy to the planet, and you slow the spacecraft down. And that's what Parker Solar Probe is doing. It's actually giving its energy back to the planet Venus, so it can slow down and then go around the sun. And this does it to slow itself down, so its orbit can be smaller as it orbits the sun.
I wish I could get the volume.
If you got a URL, post the URL and we can all get it at
Yeah.
some point later.
If you have a post on YouTube, John, do you?
I'll have to put it on YouTube. I haven't done that yet, but I will. Okay, I think I stopped sharing.
You did.
Correct.
Back to Awni. I see the sun is coming out, Awni, on your side. Is that correct?
It's got sunny curtains.
He does. It looks bright out there. No.
Yeah, still nothing. Hold on.
Oh well.
Yeah, a
It's
little
supposed to
bit.
clear up this evening, so anyone who's doing night observing tonight will get to see some stuff.
No.
The
Let's see.
forecast is it's supposed to clear between 6 and 7. So after 7, the chance of getting observing in is going to greatly increase.
I was say, what does our Saturday schedule here look like?
Well, our club starts at 6 o'clock, I believe. Before
Yeah,
sun starts at 6.
Yeah, Bob's got tourist solar. These are presentations. Mike Bruno's scale model of solar systems at 7.
Well, I'm not sure. Well, Mike didn't.
Beginner's journey is at 8, and
Yeah.
Astro Hangout and Trivia is at 9.
Yeah, I'm not sure about about Mike because he didn't show up yesterday,
Yeah.
so I have to reach out to him. But but we filled it in with other stuff, which is fine, no problem.
Okay.
That's an issue.
Yeah, we got
And I
Doug
can
Bach
fill it
at
with my
8:30
presentation.
and Brian Autumn again at 10.
Yeah,
Those are the 2 live in addition to Ani's here.
we went till after midnight last night.
Yeah, so did the Southern Hemisphere. When I think we went to, it was like 1 o'clock his time, and I think we went till maybe quarter or 20 after 12, about 20 minutes or more overtime.
Yeah.
With him, but that was pretty unique. I have to admit, because you just don't see the Southern Hemisphere very much.
One more thing that I wanted to mention that it's kind of a requirement, if you have a solar scope, please don't look at the sun.
Ever.
Usually PST comes with a finder, built-in finder that
The PST uses the PST finder works by using a little window and a prism. There's a little round window on top,
Yep.
and there's a hole in the front of the scope, a little aperture, and the
Yep.
sunlight shines in that hole and projects on the disc on top. And once you line them
so
up,
you just have to put that dot in the middle, and you're good enough. You're
that's
close.
it. That's all you need. Yeah.
The Lund usually comes with a solar finder, which is something like that. And it's technically just a hole, 2 plates with a hole on one side, and like a plexiglass on the other side. So you just align the shadow, or
It works excellent. It really does.
it does, yeah. You just align the what do you call it? The sun's beam that is coming through this hole onto that white disc or plexiglass, and you're close enough as well. But if you don't have one, for example, if you're using an eyepiece like that with a regular telescope, you don't have any solar finder. One thing you can do is you can either buy that Lund solar finder, or easily said, just for example, here's a scope. Just put some sticks or piece of 2 sticks, one this side and the other one is 90 degrees on the other side. And to make sure the scope is aligned, just make sure the shadow of those sticks goes across the tube, just perpendicular across the tube. And that makes it close, that's close enough.
I also use this.
I've seen once or twice that people put a white light filter on their scope, and they try to look at the sun visually, and what they do is they go back at the back, behind the scope, and they kind of like, oh, where's the sun, let me look at the sun, like they do with exactly what they do when aligning their telescope on the moon or on a planet or something. Don't do that with the sun, please.
No, you can also use the shadow created by your telescope on the ground behind you. Because when the shadow is at its smallest, that's when you're aligned with the sun. Because if you weren't aligned, the shadow would actually get bigger or smaller as you move. Yeah. So you can actually use a shadow of if you don't have a solar finder, and you didn't have the stick option as you mentioned, Awni. The one other option is use the shadow of your telescope to create the smallest point, a smallest shadow, and that'll do it. Or if you already have a solar scope, the easiest way to do it is put the cap back on your telescope, right? The front cap on your telescope. Use your sun cap over your finder to align it, and then cap your finder and then move it back to the front of your scope again. So there is options that are safe.
Yeah, what we're trying to say, briefly is, find a way to align your scope on the sun. Don't look at the sun.
Yeah, never.
Here's a object I made myself. This is
there you go.
A caulking tube, an empty caulking tube, and the front of it, you just put a pinhole in it, and the back end, you salami cut it, you know, on that angle, and then you put a piece of tape, or I put white paper with tape over it, so you know it helps if you get a little humidity or whatever.
We're getting
And
some.
what happens when you the sun goes through the front of it, it will come out on the back, and it will be a point on the back. Then you can center that. And I just have this piece of Velcro that I use, and I just stick it on my telescope. Just something simple.
There you
Why,
go.
why the angle cut though?
Because it gives you a more of a surface area. You know, because if you were just straight, then there would be less surface. And also this gives you
There
a
you
better
go.
angle,
We got
a
a
universal
sunspot
angle.
here.
Ooh.
So we got
the
a
sun.
sunspot here with all the active region around it. And believe it or not, we got some activity over here to the left of it. Let's see what we have.
Is that new? I don't remember that being
Yeah,
there
I know.
yesterday.
They're probably new. We didn't see it yesterday. If we move up, this was the sunspot from yesterday, and believe it or not, quickly before the clouds roll in. Where is it? Where is it? There you go. Oh, come on, don't do it. That's too big. There you go. Look at that. Now it's like a rectangle, and yesterday was kind of oval shape. Look at that. That just tell you what 24-hour will do on the sun, happen on the sun. And yeah, we're getting some. Actually, let me frame it properly. Yeah, look at that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kind of active regions coming up. Oh, come on, don't.
Like 1 second, guys.
That's basically what's happening on the sun's surface. Let's see if I overexpose that thing a little bit more. There you go. Nope, let's put it on 30 and see what we can find. Yeah, with that, we got this. Let me zoom in. That would be nice. Actually, no, let's go, overall. We got that prominence, same one that from yesterday. Nothing new. This one is coming up big.
See a little
And
bit of looping going on there too.
yeah, I know it's coming. Whatever it's getting out, it's coming back in. Actually, let's zoom in at that thing. Yeah,
There's a prominence there. Look at a nice big tall one. Yeah.
yeah, clouds are rolling in though. So let me zoom in. Oh, perfect. There you go. You can see the clouds dimming the whole thing.
Yeah.
Actually, let me focus. Let's see if I can focus. Okay. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, we got some clouds.
Yup. Dang.
Oh, coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, I have some sunshine over here.
Oh,
so-
come on. We just need minutes.
The sun is shining over here.
Yeah, I got some. Yeah, I'll get some clear sky very soon.
So is anybody asking chat on YouTube, Jeff?
No, not really. It's been
Well,
most
that's
of
a
me.
pretty-
Adrian says he's packing for Okie Tech, so
Bob, I haven't heard from Mike for the 7 o'clock session. So, John, what do you think? Should we change the title of the session?
No, leave it until he comes in, and we'll go from there. I'm trying to think if somebody has another one, you know, that we could pull up.
Well, I have
rem-
one to fill that spot.
Yeah, okay, then just leave it, and we'll
I'll do the
just-
Rubens tube to fill that spot.
No, I meant another one with size and distance. I know
Oh,
Ken Burton had that one solar
Oh,
system
look at that.
ambassador.
that's nice.
yeah.
I see something here.
Ken's not an ambassador anymore.
I understand that, but I
Yeah.
was wondering if anybody has a copy of that we
No, I
could
don't.
use.
Oh,
I
Yeah.
think the Rubens tube would be better at night.
Well, it's indoors, so it's in the garage. So after 7, it'll be dim. It'll be dim enough to see it.
Okay.
It's fine even during the day. I tried it earlier on this afternoon. I made sure everything was sealed and I had to replace the diaphragm on it and so on, and it works great. I tested for a while. I'm going to drive the music for my cell phone, the audio for it.
Hmm. And couple minutes, I should be able to get some clear sky over here. Maybe I can get some white light in between awnies.
Cloudy spots.
Yeah.
It is breaking up though. The fact that we're getting some is a good sign.
Yeah, I tried to catch 67p last night, but
oh, look at that.
when that came out, it was too many clouds.
The thin clouds are working out like a diffuser, so I can't see any details.
Yeah, but they're
Even though
coming
I know I'm focused, it's just tricky.
Oh yeah. My imagination, I'm seeing the whole loop, kind of like looking at a rainbow. Yeah, you have to fill in the blanks.
You know, like that. Kind of imagine the whole thing as well, but I'm just waiting for a tiny sucker hole.
Should be coming your way. There should be a real big hole coming.
It's over me right now. It's clear sky. The sun is shining right over me.
There you go.
Oh, that's nice.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Can you see this part?
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the bridge from one side to the next. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Time to hit the record button.
Oh, I still get some diffused clouds.
There it goes.
Yeah, like I said, I'm waiting for. Actually, the way I can, if there is no cloud, I'll see the sun's surface over here. There you go. Because this is just one millisecond exposure, so that if there is something, that means there's no clouds. There you go. No, yes, no. And let's see if I can focus that frame. Nope, out of focus. There you go. Close enough. We pump up the exposure.
There, you're getting it. Oh, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Boy, that almost looks like an L shape, with the loop at the top.
Yeah. Look at that. It's like a tree. the root over here and the tree, and there are two branches, one here, one there. I think this part is just like a extension of this branch. That is beautiful. Yep, got some clouds. But yeah, I mean, what's worth it? That's one thing that is nice to look at. Let me zoom out and see if there's anything else.
That's really tall too.
I know. I wonder if that.
Remarkable.
I wonder if the website, that Solar Hydrogen Alpha website, is showing anything. Actually, no.
There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Very tiny.
Well, it's thin, but it's tall.
Green.
Hmm.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, the Soho, I have their settings set to see granularity and surface detail rather than kind of a mixture, but you can't get the best, you can't get the best of both worlds, you know. You get some of one and some of another. You can't get unless you do two separate images and overlap them.
Yeah, that's basically what that website do, is they take two different exposures and then they map it together. And because they're taking the whole disk of the sun, it's easy to map it together. They just, you know, the overexposed image, they just reduce the diameter and they just put it together on top. Actually, let me update this website. See if they.
Jeff, you mentioned earlier on about the TeleView Soul Searcher.
Yeah.
I just 3D print my own. The advantage of 3D printing, right? Just make it yourself.
I don't have a 3D printer, and it came with the solar scope, so I was
I didn't. Well, yeah,
actually
and
spelled
the
TeleView
PSC doesn't
wrong,
have
but-
one,
Yeah.
and my refractor doesn't have one, so I just made my own.
I checked into it. I think they were only like 25 or 30 bucks. I don't think they were very expensive.
I know.
There's not much to it, but I like it because I can bolt it on. It doesn't affect the case, and it takes 2 seconds to bolt it, and it's all aligned. And the lunt has got a slot where it fits, and there's no play in it. So my experience with the lunt so far has been, it's probably the best instrument I've ever put my fingers on. It's everything works smoothly and precisely, and it's kind of the way it should be.
Oh well, that's a bummer.
Well, I got good news and bad news. The good news is we noticed that this clear sky is heading your way. The bad news is
It's almost
it's
5.
got cloudy over here.
It's 2 minutes to 5.
And it's 2 minutes to 5, which is when you're ending your session. We're not starting till 6, Jeff, isn't that right? Our club?
I believe so. And that's actually 6 has got tour of the solar system and space engine.
Yeah, but our club, the 4 club is go live at 6 o'clock, I believe, isn't it?
I don't see it on the schedule.
Oh.
Well,
I mean, I don't have, actually, for the live stuff, I don't have anything for Ford. I got presentations from Ford.
Yeah, we have 7 to 8, but once we start, we'll stay on doing stuff.
Right. I got you basically 7 through 11 with all the other stuff.
I heard the person that was supposed to do the 6 o'clock solar viewing, he backed out of it. Is that right, Liam?
Yeah, because it's cloudy. Well, no, they actually had me scheduled for the wrong day. They scheduled me for yesterday, and it should have been today.
Well, I backed out as well because after I get done with this, I'm basically going to be packing, go on vacation tomorrow. So
very nice.
Likewise.
Well, I put together an alternative presentation and a talk about. So I'm ready to go with another one. And whether or not we have our scale of our might ruin it or not, I'll fill that spot with my presentation one way or the other, or it'll be done.
So do we need to add something for the 6 o'clock slot for you guys or not?
No, I need to verify. I thought we were going to go live at 6. We might do white light at 6 o'clock from the observatory.
We can, if you want, just put hangout with the astronomers for us, and we can do whatever. Just
When is sunset? I thought sunset was like 6:20, 6:30, so you're not gonna be able to see
7
much.
something. Sunset is after.
7:24 or something like
Yeah.
that.
yeah, but we can just put hangout with the astronomers, ask your questions. I think that would be a good thing for us to fill in with.
At 6 for
Yeah.
live?
Yeah, and sunset is 7:26.
Is that a quickie, Bob? Bob's our web guy.
I know, but he's muted, so
Oh, so he is.
Yeah, that's fine. Can you just put the title of it in the chat there? I'll copy that and just use the same forward link.
Yes, the astronomy for everyone.
the astronomy for
Alright.
the astronomy for everyone and link.
I will get to that right now.
Hey, we got clear skies.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste time without recording the session. So just to compare it with what we had yesterday, even though the seeing is not good. There you go. That's good enough.
Okay, so 6 p.m. Well, who's gonna be there?
Just say hangout with the Ford Astronomy Club. And
Whoa.
we'll
Yes.
touch base with Tim. Tim should be getting home around now. He was out on the bike ride, so
That
when
is
he gets home,
fast.
we'll touch base with him to make sure we're ready to go online at 6.
Look at that. I think that's another sunspot. Look at that.
It is.
Yeah, it's
Might
darker
be.
than it was earlier. Just what, half hour ago?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
growing. Zoom in on it, Ani.
Yeah, we'll do.
That's the one from earlier. But the
That's
one
from,
left.
yeah, that's from yesterday.
You're just using a NEMA 17 stepper for focus, right?
Yeah, the basic Arduino stepper motor.
Mm-hmm. What do you use a nano to control it?
Mhm. Two of them, one for the big stepper motor and one for the small one. Oh, no, what am I doing? Too much.
There's times some of this stuff feels like trial and error, I swear.
There.
No, it pretty much is.
That's probably a filament.
No, that's the sunspot. It just set it in that one and the small one beside it.
Okay, update of the site. Let me know if you want to change any of that text.
I'll just refresh. Give me a second.
6 to 7, hang out with astronomers.
There you go. Here's another one.
Chat with a bunch of astronomers.
Look at that. That
Yeah,
looks
that'll do.
like that looks like two eyes and a smiley face. See, Jeff, sometimes you get lucky with a prominence that is bright enough that
Yeah,
it's exactly the same exposure as the surface. Look at that. I bet if I overexpose that thing, There you go. See?
Oh, look what's below it, though. Wow. The other half.
Beauty.
That is a good one.
I wonder if I can make it look even better by fine-tuning the pressure tune. So let's go with 5,050 step.
The other way.
No, nothing. Wrong direction. No, I made it worse. Let's go back to 60. Yeah, it's getting brighter. Okay. Focus that again.
Okay, I'm gonna go get ready because we have stuff to do this in a short while for our club.
Okay.
It's always fun hanging out with you guys.
Yes. Thank you for joining in. Always great insights.
Always. Thank you, Liam.
Don't forget, keep an eye out for on our channel when we're doing stuff later on if you have time, because I do intend that the Rubens tube is well worth. I don't know if you have any of you ever seen a Rubens tube before?
Never heard of it before. How's that?
Okay, then it'll even be more fun to watch this. If you as I said, I showed it a few years ago. I think Bob saw it at Astronomy at the Beach a few years ago. And if you haven't, it's well worth watching. It's a huge crowd pleaser to watch flames dance to music. It is really cool to watch. So and the heavier, the more rocky the music is, the better it dances. So it's really
Well,
it's a fun thing to watch.
well, Liam, don't burn your house.
No, I have a setup right beside me. I'll have a fire extinguisher, and it's in the garage. So all I have to do is open the garage door, and if anything does go burn, it's mostly made out of metal anyway. It's designed that way. I designed it properly. But if the worst case scenario, everything gets thrown out the garage door, that'll be immediately behind me. So there's a safe way out for everything.
Good.
Yeah, but I've done this before. I've done this indoors at Henry Ford College in one of their science labs. So it's designed safely. I ensure I did. Everything's using metal or high temperature nylons or heat proof gaskets and all this kind of stuff. So I went the extra mile to make sure everything was safe to be used. And it's fun to play with, though. It's really cool what you can do with it.
I bet. See what that prominence looks like. That's 25th. I think it's the first one. There you go. See if we could do that. Analyze that. It's a surface.
You're stacking?
Yep, I'm stacking. Don't go yet. Wait for me. I bet that's worth it. Staying stack.
Stretch it a little bit, maybe.
That's it. I capture sun today. Just waiting for the folder to comes up.
Looks like John is focusing on clouds.
Oh, I'm trying to get
Yeah,
this
look
thing
at
going
that.
here.
We got some decent sun now.
Yeah, things finally cleared up.
Yeah, look at
Got a
that.
lot of activity going on.
Look at that sunspot. That's beautiful. Yeah, there you go. We got it. We got a stack file. another beauty. Look at that.
Stretch it a little bit. You might get more detail.
Now I think. Uh, where's the openness? Openness. There you go.
Very nice.
Indeed.
Add the color.
Cool. I don't know if I have the. No, I don't. Okay. I need to convert that to. What is it? Mode. RGB color. Latin. All right. Please. Actually, I still remember the numbers. 1.6.
6. Green.
1.6. Not bad.
Nice.
Actually, I can do a little bit more if I remember how. There you go. Okay. Where is that bucket? No. Oh, come on. Oh, I need to go. There you go.
Nice image.
Looks nice.
Okay, I'm gonna go. Thanks, Awni. Fun as always.
Hey, Liam, thanks to you as well. Appreciate it.
And I'll see you somewhere in the funny pages. Take care, guys.
Okay, Doug. Have fun tonight.
Will do.
Cool. Well, oh, look at that. That's crazy. I don't know what that is. I don't. Looks like a filament.
Big filament beginning with a spot. It's hard to say.
Yeah, I bet it looks like a filament that is about to erupt. Yeah, I don't think it's a sunspot. I think it's a filament that is about to erupt, and it's moving fast. It's
Yeah,
getting big.
you're right.
See, there's a gap in between.
Right. Well,
That's
and it's moving up as you go to the right.
Oh, look at that. That's fast.
Yep.
Wow.
That's a good call. Filament.
Yeah, I see a gap in between. I see two filaments. And this thing was tiny. Now it's bigger.
Yep.
See if I can make it a little bit better focus wise. There you go. That's good. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but that gap is getting bigger.
Actually, we got a little bit of comment here. So your son, nice prominent Ani. Do the optics get hot, or can they, when doing this at all? Is there advantage of using fire capture as opposed to sharp cap for imaging the sun?
Fire capture can be done. Oh, okay, so multiple questions?
Yeah. Do the optics get hot, or can they when doing this at all?
No, they're dedicated. It's a dedicated solar scope, so it won't happen.
And the second question, any advantage of fire capture over sharp cap? And I'm going to say probably no, but
No, you can do imaging with sharp cap and fire capture. The only reason I like fire capture, it's free and it's filled with features that sharp cap doesn't have it.
yeah, and having used both is like my intuition says fire capture has a little better accessibility to more of those features, whereas sharp cap, the interface is a little weird, and things are not always where you expect
use
it.
both?
Well, he's saying either or. I have used both,
Oh, okay.
not at the same time though.
Yeah, I've used both as well, but
Both are
again,
excellent.
again, fire capture comes with a feature that I've never seen in sharp cap, which is the auto line. So the nice thing with that is you can, once you connect your mount to sharp cap, once you connect your mount to fire capture,
Right.
you can just enable auto line, and like so, except it can't register the feature. Hold on, let me just pump up the exposure. Put 1.5. Oh no, cloud's coming there. Perfect. Anyway, let me explain what the auto line does. It locks on a feature. If that feature shifts to the left, it will command the mount to move the other direction, and so and so, and just keeps it in the middle. I mean, it's just an image processing feature that I haven't seen it in SharpCap.
Yeah. Well, SharpCap's big calling these days is their live stacking, and we got a guy in the Lowbrow Club.
Oh yeah, there too. If you're into, I guess, what is it called? Live stacking or EAA.
Electronically assisted astronomy.
Yeah, if you're interested in EAA, then SharpCap is the way to go, but you have to pay.
Yeah, some of the features of in that $30 payment thing, which I think it's 2 years that you get. Mine hasn't expired yet, but frankly, I've been impressed enough with fire capture for a lot of the stuff I'm doing that like, one half another, and I can find the features in fire capture a little easier.
Yeah, I might be interested in SharpCap if the features in fire capture is not efficient for me. But so far I've seen, I mean, fire capture is more than efficient for me. I can start, again, as you see, I'm into time lapse. I can start my session and go do anything I want, finish my work, do a meeting, whatever, comes back, that exact thing that I'm imaging, it's still in the middle, it's still capturing my frames, exactly the order that I set it up 2-3 hours ago.
Yeah, it seems to that auto align is definitely a unique feature, and that'd be worthwhile.
Yeah, so so far it's been working fine with me, and And trust me, if it doesn't, I would leave it. I'm not a person, I'm not a very patient person, especially lately. Especially the past 2 years.
Well, everybody's time is so limited. It's like you don't have time to waste dinking around with features that don't work or work oddly, or you have to babysit or whatever.
But you have to pay for it.
Yeah. I've with the Astroberry, I've been pleasantly surprised at how good the free software really is. The Echoes
yeah.
K-Stars combo is fantastic for like a highly automated thing. The fire capture is on
Just
there.
FYI, I've seen websites, free websites that works really well for me. Fire capture is one of them. It's an app that works really well for me, and it's free, surprisingly free.
Yep.
And what is it? If I really like it, and I'm like, my imaging sequence depends on it, I would, and please do so. It doesn't cost you a penny. I mean, it doesn't cost you a lot, of course. I mean, I always donate to the developer. It helps them, directly or indirectly. It just helps them.
And it's a nice thing to do since they worked so hard on the thing.
Yeah, and and out of the hobby and the passion of the hobby, they put it for free for the public. I mean, you know, just
It's
something
a reward.
nice to do.
Yeah. Oh, we got clouds rolling in again. Is this a good time to make a break?
But yeah, luckily my polar alignment is good enough. But there you go. It's definitely not the sunspot because I see a bright. Yeah, there you go. Clouds comes in. Do that. Anyway, I guess I wanted to end up my live session with the time lapse that I captured yesterday. And to be honest, I think that's a beautiful time lapse. I've never had the time lapse like that before, especially that blob thing. Look at that.
The burp.
The burp. There you go. The fart.
Solar flatulence. There's a reason we don't check it for kids.
Yeah, that is just beautiful. And yeah, again, do watch me on Facebook or Instagram or even at Astrobin. I'll definitely post that video on Astrobin, and I mean definitely on Facebook, definitely. But for those who are interested, this is my link. Put it on the chat.
Here we go.
Where is the chat?
And I'll copy that over to the YouTube.
And what is my Facebook? There you go. Yeah, I don't know if you're a Facebook follower or Instagram. And where's my Instagram?
I don't think I've ever posted anything up there. My thing seems to be in the Facebook group that I have. Just post everything up there. Instagram probably can get to it anyway.
Yeah. There you go. All three of them.
And I passed all of those over to the YouTube channel.
So
I believe the YouTube channel should keep that with the video. So when the video gets saved and whatnot. So
yeah, with that said, clouds are rolling in again, and it's been a pleasure. I mean, those past 2 days, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, because
I really liked it.
yeah, you're one of the few people that steps up with that has H alpha stuff and likes to talk about it, and it's great having that feature, I guess, to put on the Astronomy at the Beach schedule. It's really tremendous, and we get good turnout. I think yesterday's I saw 86 playbacks, which is a little smaller than last year, but this year things came together so late. It was still, that's an impressive number. All of the numbers from the other things have been down a little bit just because things were put together bad. But once again, Awni's got a strong showing. So today's 48 already. So I'll see what the final total amounts to later.
There you go. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful.
And we should mention there's other events going on starting at 6 o'clock and going to probably midnight for the second day of the 25th year of Astronomy at the Beach. I got to put in my plug. I'm an officer. I think they watch me.
I'm going to be giving a presentation at 6. Yeah, a tour of the solar system with an application called Space Engine, which is really, really cool.
It's very cool stuff, Bob.
Well, like I said, thank you all for having me. Thank you all for hosting that live session that I had for the past 2 days, and hope you like it. Your background, though, Jeff, is the wrong year.
Yeah, I know. It looked nice though, but I have my notes from yesterday and today here, so I'm taking those with me on vacation.
We do. Let me know if you need. Let me know, and anyone else if they have any questions, please.
Yep, they will come to help. All three your URLs are on the chat in YouTube, so it'll be there for posterity if anybody wants to contact you. We know you're a total resource.
There you go.
Love to talk with people and help people out and mentor. So,
oh, my pleasure.
Yep, and thank you much. And with that, I think we're going to end the stream. And everybody tune in at 6 for Space Engine with Bob.